they tell me you got to go online. Do I tell them I already have them? I said, but I want to come over in person.
Oh my gosh, hi.
Oh my God, hi.
Hi.
Are you okay?
Yes, I had started a class. Shut up. I had started a class. Stop. I had started a class on my sister. No, not you. My sister. I had started a class on the Constitution because the Hillsdale College is having like a free course. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, so I started that, and then I realized, because my alarm went off, and so I had your class, and I stood up, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the bathroom. So I ran to the bathroom, and then I ran back. So.
But look, you made it.
Yes, I have
Awesome.
a really stupid habit of holding my breath too. So that is why I'm out of breath.
Go in there. I'll be right there. Okay. I will be right back.
Okay. Hi, Shane.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Can you believe it? Only one more Friday after today. Are you like crying on the inside?
Yes.
Maybe.
He goes maybe.
Same time.
He's graduating. He's like, I'm out of here.
Maybe. Sometimes.
It's like, I'm done. I'm good. Oh my goodness.
Aaron.
It's so crazy.
I'm mixed. Mixed emotions.
I don't know. It's going to be weird, especially with the way like how HCA ended, I guess, and then we're continuing here. It's just different this year. There's no like hugs and high fives, and I'm like, I can't hug the computer. I guess we can high five. Do like a group high five. We never got to do an IEW dance, which like breaks my heart.
Really.
Yeah, it's like, but anyway, it's all good. I know it's the way I guess it's supposed to be. Yeah.
I actually have a very important question to ask you, Miss Erin.
What is your very important question?
Who in the world won the Jeopardy game?
Oh, it was Luke.
Daddy
Good
God.
job. Good job, man.
Thanks, Shane.
You're welcome.
I thought I would keep. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I got it on my second try, though, so.
Hey now. Hey, hey.
It's a question. So it was okay. So then maybe it was a tie.
Yeah.
We'll say it's a tie. We'll say
You
it's a
can
tie.
say it was a tie.
We'll say it's a tie. Will that work for your competitive streak, Elena? To be
You
tied
can
with
say
somebody?
it was a tie. I'm not going to. If he got it on the second try.
He's like,
I'm
I'm
not
going
saying it was a tie.
You guys crack me up. Okay. There's Kaya. I had to like scroll over to see your face. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people thought like class was over or something. How many texts I've gotten today? Do we have class today?
I know we have
Only class that's still going? Has everybody else quit?
No.
I just know it's gonna happen because it's after Good Friday.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys are joining. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. I'm trying to pull up my whatchamacallit, PowerPoint, so just give me a second. It's not wanting to pull up. So everyone is ready for summertime?
No.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm ready for like 80-degree weather. That's me.
Ava says she forgot it was Friday, so join in a minute.
Oh, I want to forget it's Friday. Any fun photo shoots, Kaya, today?
No.
It must be so nice to have a sister like that. Like, I didn't have that when, yeah. To be able to go out and, like, take random pictures.
It was so fun. I got to dress her up. So
You dressed up your older sister? That cracks me up. I'm just, yeah. So, Luke, have your sisters ever wanted to do, like, your hair and makeup? No?
Maybe.
I just wondered, you know, because you have a bunch of little sisters and then the little brothers, and the little brothers aren't quite old enough like for certain things yet, but I wonder what it was like having little sisters if they wanted to do like your hair and makeup.
Well, they have enough of each other to work on, so.
Work on that. Okay. Because Lily wants to do hair and makeup for everybody. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, so today, can you believe you only have one thing left to write?
Depressing. All of my teachers are depressing me.
Why?
You're all depressing. Because I've already done all my work except one class and yours, and then I'm just gonna be depressed.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's so sad.
I will have work over the summer, which is nice though. But it's gonna take me about 30 minutes. That's it. What am I supposed to do for the rest?
I don't know. You'll figure it out.
Maybe I'll just email you constantly and just annoy you until you block me.
Let's try that. Let's see how long it takes.
Ava's putting her ducks inside, and then she will.
I'm sorry, did you say
Ducks?
She got baby ducks.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's adorable.
How cute is that? Okay, so this is really like getting into some of my favorite parts about writing is the idea of like how we respond to literature. And I think it's because I love literature so much. I really do nerd out about certain things, certain books and stuff like that. Like I would love to, like I could teach the book 1984 all day or The Great Gatsby. And when I teach Great Gatsby, I make everyone dress up as like flappers. They all get a headband with a big flower thing, and we create these really colorful avatars, and we come up with names like, you know, Sunny Pop, Bling Bling, or something like that. You know, like you need your Roaring 20s name, like hello, that's just a necessity. So really when we're thinking about everything that we've read now and understanding what C.S. Lewis wanted to do with his writings.
With The Great Gatsby, wasn't it all just a lie, or was it all just a dream?
No, it really happened. I
No,
mean,
but to that one person.
book, The Great Gatsby is written from Nick's perspective, and he kind of goes a little loony at the end, so we're not quite for sure what actually happened.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so it's almost like he's been put in a home or a psychiatric thing, and his psychiatrist is having him write down this whole story. But it's a very cool book. It's one of my favorites. And in that book, you see a lot, you have like Myrtle and you have Daisy, which are two flowers. So why would Scott Fitzgerald have used flowers in that as an instance? So we think about flowers being a symbol of things. Hello. C.S. Lewis used things such as stars, and he used mythical creatures as symbols in his books. She wants to play bubbles. So she's like bringing me her gallon jug of bubbles that she wants to open up. So hopefully we don't spill. What?
Hi, Lily.
Off later. Okay. You take the sticker off later. So we're going to think about how we actually respond to literature. How do we read it? So you're going to have a choice this week on what you write about. You're either going to write about stars or you're going to write about dwarves.
Did you say, wait, what in the world was the first thing you said?
You're going to have a choice of what you write about. You have two choices to pick from.
What
Stars.
was the first? Stars?
Mm-hmm. Like the
Oh my
stars
gosh, that's not what I
in the
thought you
sky.
said. Okay.
Or you're going to write about dwarfs, okay? Whichever one, you know, you feel more compelled to write about, but we're going to talk a little bit about it. Because when we're thinking about stars, that's an image that C.S. Lewis wanted to create. So when you think about stars, what kind of words come to mind?
Constellations.
Constellations, okay. Shane, did you have something?
I think nighttime.
Nighttime, okay. So if you were to describe nighttime, you could talk about the dark midnight blue sky and all these white, yellow, shiny things, you know, are glittering at you. Talk about stars can be used as symbols as for guiding. What's the big star in the sky?
Isn't it like the North Star? Or the...
There we go. Yes, the North Star. Yes. Who followed the North Star?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Who followed the North Star?
Peter Pan.
No. He did follow some stars, but that's like a different whole new thing.
Okay.
Who's like a couple of people followed the star to get to a specific person or baby or toddler. We don't know the whole timing there.
Oh, Jesus.
There we go. So Jesus, who followed the star? There's a whole movie with donkeys in it and talking dogs.
Shrek?
No, not Shrek.
All dogs go to heaven?
It's called The Star.
Oh.
Oh, it's that Christmas movie.
A Christmas movie, yes. So who follows the stars?
The wise men.
There we go. The wise men follow the star to Jesus. So when we think about the imagery of something, we need to take what it could mean and why C.S. Lewis is using the idea of stars. Stars light things up, right? Do we tend to follow light, or would you rather follow darkness?
Mm,
Light.
Literally?
Right?
Oh, okay.
If you were stuck in a tunnel and you wanted to way out, what are you going to look for?
for some light that
You're
shine.
looking for light because light means, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It means there's an opening there. Oh my goodness. So we think about, I'll get you something to eat just a second. Okay, go and get Bella. So you think about the light and you think about what stars are. They're guiding and they're bright. And this helps create this idea. But imagery is like the scenery that C.S. Lewis is creating. It's what he wants us to think about when we're reading specific lines from the book about stars. We're getting somewhere, maybe? Our minds have been opened a little bit. So when an author uses a particular word to help the reader experience something, he wants you to feel something. He wants you to see something, taste. He wants to transport you. He's going to use words or phrases, similes and metaphors to create imagery. So if you want to transport a reader to your grandma's house on Christmas, what's one thing that will help you transport your readers?
I'm thinking about that, but it's not the answer you're going to want.
What does your grandma's house look like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like?
Never been.
It's at anybody's house then on Christmas.
Oh, on Christmas?
Or, Christmas or a good experience, a good house you've been to.
Have you ever smelled a new room?
A new room, like with new paint and carpet.
Yeah, like new house, but
Yeah.
it's not a new house.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay. So it smells clean. It smells almost like it's been hospital sanitized. It smells like sand, like someone has sanded down the walls or paint, like that wood smell or something. Sheetrock smell. Okay. I can picture being there now. I can smell it. The easiest way to transport a reader is through a sense of smell. Just saying. Anytime you write, the easiest way to transport somebody is through the sense of smell, because we all have good memories or bad memories. So if you want someone to have a bad memory, like think about what puke might smell like.
How in the world will we know what that smells like? Trash?
Well, think about like you walk into a house and it's so disgusting. It smelled like vomit. Are we all going to now have a sense of how gross this house is?
I know what vomit looks like.
Or mothballs. If I were to tell you a house smells like mothballs, you guys smelled mothballs before?
No.
No, you guys are babies. You need to smell some mothballs. Old people, like we had this old lady who lived next to us when I was little. Aunt Louise, we called her. She smelled like mothballs. So anytime I smell mothballs, I picture her plastic-covered couch and her orange fuzzy carpet. It's mothballs take me right back to her house.
Is that like a sack with baby moths in it or something?
No, it's something that you put in your clothes to keep bugs or moths from eating your clothes.
Oh.
It's like this weird, I don't know, weird smell. Piney, weird smell. All right, anyway, so now you think about something good. So at Thanksgiving, do I like the smell of like baking apple pie or chocolate chip cookies or brownies? Does that create a pleasant?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
So if I were to say like the smell of apple pie, what do you guys think about?
Homemade apple pie or something?
Yes, homemade apple pie, bacon in the oven. Can you smell it? The cinnamon and the brown sugar.
I'm broken, so no.
You're broken? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because you're naming all these things that you said the smell is the best way, and I can't smell any of them. I mean, the chocolate chip cookies thing, I can taste it, but not smell it. See, I'm broken, although I'm broken in many other ways.
No, you just gotta think about it. It'll like you'll have a smelling experience, yes. Okay. Or so like we think about someplace good. So baking apple pie, cinnamon, chocolate chip cookies, what do you guys think about? Where are you?
My room?
A bakery?
A bakery?
Oh.
Okay. It could be a good experience of walking by one of those cookie places in the mall. It could be grandma's house or your own house during the holidays. But when we have a sense of smell, when we can smell something, it can transport us so we can picture exactly where we are. So think about that as you're reading or as you're writing. And I don't think we're really going to have like where you can bring in the sense of smell this week, but maybe bonus points if you do for this. But we might be doing an exercise next week during class where you're going to have to do this. So think about things that smell good for you and things that smell bad for you. I'm saying like vinegar. What does vinegar make you think of?
Water.
Does it make you think of anybody's like feet? Have you ever smelled somebody
No.
who has vinegar feet?
No.
Like stinky toes?
I
Oh,
said water or a cleaning product.
Hey, a cleaning product, yes. People clean with vinegar, yes. But
Well,
so
it's like a cooking product.
okay. I'm just gonna put something out there. So like if you think about like you smell vinegar and then you think about like your best friend and you love them dearly but they have really stinky feet. So then you smell like you think of their feet and then you remember that they wear socks all the time. So then when they take their socks off, they have that really gross toe jam between their toes, you know, like where the socks like bundle up, like they ball up between the toes, and then they pick at them all the time. And then they leave that on your floor of your bedroom.
I feel like the way you're saying this, someone's done that to your bedroom.
Oh no, maybe, yes. But so we might be doing something like that next week as kind of like your final or one of the things that are going to be incorporated into see how much you learned or how much you retained next week. Okay, so but we can also use, an author can also use something called an analogy, where that's what is an analogy? You guys know? You're
It's a
making an
word.
analogy when you compare.
It's like
Go
it's
for it.
like using something to convey, I don't know, a message or a meaning. I don't know.
Like life is a box of chocolates.
We're
You
kind
never
of
know what you're
comparing
gonna get.
it's a really big metaphor or simile or metaphor that we're using two different things to compare something else. So yes, we're using something to convey a message or an experience, or they want you to learn something. Yes. So C.S. Lewis does that through the dwarfs, because it's like made me think about the song Amazing Grace. Once I was blind, but now I see. Was the person truly or physically blind? No, it was like a spiritual blindness. So the dwarves are spiritually blind. And so he's using their blindness to share with us how we might have our spiritual eyes closed at times. So why are we talking about this? Why does C.S. Lewis use imagery? What was his purpose, his intent? How does the reader perceive it? So when we get into and we really look at literature, we can think about, why did our author do this? So why is C.S. Lewis, why did he write these books?
Money. No, I'm kidding.
Money's a really good, like down the road, like that's a really good consequence from it. But he was looking to share this new idea of books, like science fiction almost, or mythical stories for children to read. But he has a deeper purpose, right? Remember, he believed that his imagination came from God, and that by him sharing these stories, it was going to get people to think about it and get people to be closer to God. So is there a Christian undertone in all of his stories, like weaved into his stories? Yes, because God is a representation of, or can be argued to be a representation in which character?
Aslan.
Aslan is one of them, yes. There's also in another book where God kind of shows up in like a small cat. So it's showing that God can be with us even when we don't know he's with us, but God is with us all the time. So C.S. Lewis's purpose is to show imagination comes from God, and that we need to share about our Creator. We need to share with other people. It's almost, even if he didn't know it at the time, but his books almost became like this missionary in a way, sharing the gospel or sharing in a way to get us to think about it. And then how do we perceive it, which is how we take it in. If you read a verse in the Bible today and then you read it 2 weeks from now, can it say something completely different to you?
Yes.
Yeah. It depends on what you're going through. So the reader is going to perceive all of this from their own experience. So that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be thinking about your experiences, which is why I want you to think about, like, when you smell something, where does it take you back? Okay, so who's been to the beach?
I have.
Okay, think about the salt water. How does the smell of the ocean, what kind of feeling does that give to you?
It smells like water. I know what the taste is. It smells like water, though. That's going to be my answer for a lot of things, Miss Erin. I can taste it. It tastes really bad.
Okay, it does not taste good, but we're thinking about the smell and the experience. Do you guys enjoy being at the beach? So
On the solid part, yes.
Like when you get out of the car and all of a sudden you feel like the humidity, you feel the breeze, and you can smell that salty water. Like, some people get really relaxed. Some people are like, oh, I'm ready to go read a book. I'm ready to go take a nap on the sand. And other people are like, let's go surfing now. Like, it invigorates them. But that's all an experience. And it's usually that smell of the water or the feeling of the breeze. Now, I'm not a big mountain person. Now, some of you might be. So you go to the mountains and you smell like the pine trees and you're like, oh, this is being as close to God as it possibly can be. Like, everyone feels like so at peace and look at this beautiful scenery that's out there. And I'm like throwing up when we're having to drive up a mountain. I don't do well on curvy roads where you're climbing. It just makes me super nervous.
Yeah, my sister always says, why couldn't they just build the road straight? How hard would that have been?
But going up a mountain, it's easier. It's easier on the car, like, incline to go on hills. So I get it, but I still don't like it. Okay, so your choices are not to watch a retro TV, even though I thought this picture was super cool. I would love a TV like that.
We've got one in our basement.
I love it. Stars and dwarves, and we're going to talk about it, like expanding on all that. So in the book that you've been reading, The Last Battle, in chapter 14, and if you count down in the paragraphs, and the 8th paragraph, it says, the last few seconds before the reign of stars. Can stars reign?
Well, yeah, we have the comments, don't we?
Okay, so it can look like they're raining, but are they actually raining?
No.
No.
Stars water?
No.
No, they're not. But he's creating this idea he wants us to see. So what do you think he wants us to picture by saying the last few seconds before the reign of stars?
The end?
Kind of like all the stars are coming towards you. Are they getting closer to you? Or are you getting closer to the stars?
Us getting closer to the stars, I guess?
We could be getting, yes, closer to the stars, or the stars are actually coming down to Earth. It could go either way. So you think about perspective. You're sitting in a car and you're going 70 miles an hour because nobody's parent speeds and you guys don't speed, right?
I don't drive.
Okay.
I go 5 miles per hour.
My sister does.
Your parents are driving and they're on the interstate and 70 miles an hour and you look out the window. Does it look like you're moving or does it look like what's going on outside the window is moving?
Outside.
It looks like outside is moving. Right? So either way here, but we understand that the stars and the earth are getting closer together at this point. In some way, either we're going closer or they're coming closer. And it's more likely that they're coming closer to us because rain comes down from the sky. So Aslan is calling the stars home. It's the end of Narnia, and Lewis wants us to see what is happening. So we can almost think about at the end of tribulation when Jesus comes back and Jesus is coming down from heaven at the end. That's what I picture. Like when I read this, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like Jesus and his army coming down. It's like from far away, it looks like stars. But then they get closer, and then all of a sudden you just see like the brilliance and the light of Jesus and his angels. Like, I'm like, oh, maybe that's what he's talking about. That's what I picture in my mind. Because we know stars don't rain. And then he talks about the showers of glittering people. He continues on. And this is where I really start to picture like the angels, and because angels don't look like us. They're angels. They're not human beings. We often picture them as angels. I mean, as human beings, like with wings. 1 minute. I see. Okay, what's it? So we picture them kind of like us so we can understand them, but it's like there's this bright, brilliant light, and they're glittering, and I picture them gold and like something I would put on top of my Christmas tree or something. And we're just, so to me, it's the scene of that, like that, the end of the earth, and that Jesus is coming back. So for me, the use of his imagery is very successful because I believe I'm seeing what he wanted me to see. That is the end. And Jesus and his angels are coming back. He also, so this is what's been said. Lewis's use of imagery to describe the stars coming home is remarkable. Somebody's opinion, but they're stating it as a
Fact.
Act,
yes.
like we did last week.
Vividly, the reader is able to picture the scene of the stars obeying Aslan's command to come home. Sorry, I have a typo there. Come home due to Lewis's carefully chosen words. And so then these are two really great ideas. And once we have an idea, we have to back it up. And that's when we can look at Bible verses, and we can look at words that C.S. Lewis specifically uses. Okay, so if you don't like stars, you're not a stars fan, you can always use the idea of dwarfs. Maybe, you think they're cute and you want to talk about them. Well, the dwarfs are used more as an analogy that C.S. Lewis has intertwined through the chapters. So he uses, his attempt to help readers understand something about life, relating it to the characters and conflict they read in the novel. So the analogy for the dwarves these are supposed to be a representation of people who don't believe in God. And we can see that we can back that up with fact by the dwarf's behavior. When the world goes through the stable door is available to them, they refuse to see it. Despite all the evidence that they've been given, they refuse to believe it. Even when the stars have been there, mathematical patterns in the flower petals, that the human eye, they're just blind to everything around them. And this would be some really great scripture reference, or even you can think about songs that may have been written that help get you thinking about supporting your ideas here. So who's for stars and who's for dwarfs? Stars?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Where do you think you guys are leaning toward? Writing about stars or dwarfs?
Stars.
Stars.
Dwarfs.
Oh, I had a feeling. Okay. So also some things from dwarves that you can think about. And I'm going to attach the PowerPoint to iGrade so you guys have this. So you can think about what happens in chapter 13 that shows dwarves do not see the same as the others. What happens when Lucy holds some violets for the dwarves to smell. Tyrion picks up the dwarf. He dangles it for a moment. What does the dwarf say actually happened? When Aslan presented himself, what do they do? When Aslan bestows a feast of fine food, what happens? What makes them start fighting with each other? And as you consider these happenings, how is this a picture of some people refusing to see God? So you can even think about, if you choose dwarves, you can almost think about what is happening in today's society with the whole coronavirus. And you have people on way separate views of what's happening here. And you have people who are completely freaking out and the fear is taking over and they're not trusting God. And then you have some people who are like, okay, God, what am I supposed to do with this? How am I supposed to, am I supposed to take a stand? How am I supposed to pray? What are we supposed to do with what is happening? So you have the people who've been paralyzed, who refuse to see anything. And then you have people who are like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. I got my suit on. Like they're ready to like take, I don't know, massive action in some form. Okay, so KWOs for stars. An example would be.
So are we only doing one paragraph?
Yes.
Wonderful.
One paragraph. Everyone's like, yay! You can get your praise dance on now. Yep. It's amazing what will make everybody happy. Only one paragraph. Now, if you want to do more, I will totally read it. But one
There you go.
one paragraph is all you're going to be required to do. Okay. So vividly, eyes here is a symbol. I just put it in parentheses because I couldn't input an I here. The stars, obey, C.S. Lewis, chosen. So what do we get from that? What do you think that's supposed to mean?
What is what supposed to mean? The first one?
Yeah, the first one. What do you think that's supposed to mean?
I don't know. Wait, can we make our own outline, or are we supposed to do it about the book?
It's about the book. It's using C.S. Lewis and your own perspective about stars.
So we're doing the stars. Go in the other room. So we're doing the stars about the.
How C.S. Lewis used the stars in the book.
Oh, so it's not.
But you're bringing your own ideas into it, like your own perspective.
Oh, darn it.
So an example could, vividly, right? We see the stars obey God, right? Did they obey God? Vividly, C.S. Lewis chooses to share with us how the stars obey God. And then we have the simile, or the idea that he uses, like silver rain, and that he talks about how the downpour of the stars. And he gives us the idea of silver. I love autocorrect. And it changed black. I'm like, what does elk mean? That's supposed to be black. We have the black sky, the contrast of the black sky to the silver and white stars. Yeah.
Where's the chosen part of the first part?
C.S. Lewis chose to show us how we can see the stars even obey God. What's that song? I can't think of the name of that song, but it talks about like different parts of nature obeying God. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Sure, my sister does.
Yeah, I think more.
Is it that So Will I song?
Yes.
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Yeah. So that song could be an inspiration for your paragraph. And then he uses, because he uses the brilliance of the colors. He uses this, in number one, he uses the simile. And number two, he uses the brilliance of the colors, the contrast, to show the silver and white sparkling stars against the black sky. And then he uses the ing verbs to really help us form an image. They're shooting, they're falling, they're hissing, they're glittering as they get closer to the earth.
Can we also use it as a triple verb?
He did use it as that's like a quadruple verb.
Oh,
Woo!
yeah.
Go C.S. Lewis. Let's see you guys do that one. You need me to take you? Okay, I'll be right there. Just go, I'll meet you there. Okay, and then he, of course, the use of his rich imagery is very successful. It can be more sentences. I'm just giving you an example of what you could use here. Okay, I'm going to throw up the dwarf one, and you guys can take a look at that while I take my child to go to the bathroom, because even though everybody else is home, I'm the only one she wants, you know.
Every girl prefers her mother.
She loves me. I'm just
Most of
kidding.
them.
I know she loves me, but still, it's crazy. So I will be right back.
Cute bear.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ava, how are your ducks?
Oh, they're good. They're outside.
I saw the video and I was like,
I know. They're so cute.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Sorry. She's kind of picky like that. So, did we look or did you guys talk? Actually, you were really quiet, which you guys are so crazy. Okay, so what do you think we mean here by L masters, dwarfs refuse? Who's L?
Lewis,
Lewis? And what do you think it means by master, dwarves, and refuse?
I don't know.
No. Okay, so what we talked about, the dwarves refuse to see, right? So
To see what?
masters the analogy and how he shows the dwarves refusing to see anything beyond the tip of their nose. And on the eyes on number one, if you're like just taking notes, there's supposed to be a line through that because they can't see. There we go. And the dwarves, even despite being desperate, they realize they're desperate. They never use their eyes to actually see. It's almost as if the dwarves are living in some type of pitch blackness. It doesn't matter that Lucy shows them the flower petals or the pipe. It's like they're not taking anything into perspective. Can you guys hear her? She's like,
Yes, she's adorable.
she's crazy. She's insane. Okay, so who's D?
Dwarfs.
Dwarves. And eyes again, supposed to be crossed off. So eyes crossed off. God's world. What do you think we mean here?
They can't see God's world.
That's right. The dwarves cannot see God's world. which then you can, so Lewis actually does a really good job in showing what a person's life may be like when they are spiritually blind. And he has, so you don't have to say mastered again, but put your clincher on there of what happens when dwarves, and you can take that into perspective, your own perspective into this, and think about biblical Bible verses that you can put into this. Like I said, it does not just have to be 4 main sentences here, being 6 total with your topic and your clincher, but add some of your own ideas into this, add some of your own perspective, add Bible verses into this. So when you think about dwarves, what do you think about? What comes to mind when you think about the little mythical creatures that C.S. Lewis is talking about?
Honestly, I think of garden gnomes.
Garden gnomes, okay. Okay. If you think about garden gnomes, you think about statues. Are they stuck? Can they be moved?
No.
No, they can't move themselves anyway. So that could be a good analogy that you bring into it. Do we each have a garden that we have to tend? Do we each have a garden we have to tend?
What do you mean by that? Like a literal garden?
I don't know. Do I mean a literal garden? Or do I mean a figurative garden? If we all have a garden, what is our garden? Ooh, deep philosophical question. What is our garden?
Our mind?
It could be our mind, our life, right? Do we have to, our heart? Do we have to pull the weeds? Do we have to take out people, or pluck people out of our life that aren't helping us, aren't sharpening our sword? Do we have to water our mind and our heart and our life? Yes. We have God's word. We have sunshine, the sun, Jesus. So that could be a really great analogy that you bring into it if you want to write about dwarves. What? It's okay. Sorry. There's a bee in the house. She hates bees with so much. Oh my goodness.
Passion.
Oh, poor
Yes.
baby.
Okay, it went away. Look, it went away. It went back out. See? It's okay. And it's a carpenter bee, so it's not going to hurt you. It doesn't have a stinger or whatever. Poor thing. She's going to have therapy one day over the bees, I think. I've never had a child freak out over something like that. My other kids are like, oh, I really don't care. Like Isabel was picking worms and dirt and, fishing. She was 3 and oh, here, give me a worm. I'm going to put it on the hook for you. Where did you come from? Because I don't do that stuff. Okay, so you really great perspective could be about the garden and tending your garden. And the dwarves did not tend to their garden, very much like a little garden gnome statue. What are some other ideas that you guys are bringing into this? When you think about stars, what do you think about?
Eyes?
The sky?
Yeah, that.
What do you think about when you think about stars?
Someone.
Someone? What does that mean?
If you're taking a romantic view to it.
You got stars in your eyes?
Or if you got knocked out, if you look at the cartoons.
Okay. Think about being in love. You think about love in general. You could think about being knocked out. We talked about them being some kind of guide and light. Anything else?
Influence, I guess.
Influence?
I don't know.
I like that. Okay. Can there be signs in the stars?
Yes.
Does God tell us there's going to be signs?
Gotta look for them.
The North Star, right? Okay. So put yourself in a place when you're writing this. And what kind of experience do you want the person reading to have? Because this is sharing your ideas on C.S. Lewis, but putting somebody in, using imagery to put them in, or have a good experience, put them in a place, having them see and feel and taste and smell or whatever their experience was supposed to be, and what you can learn from it. Because everything C.S. Lewis did, he wanted you to learn from it. Otherwise, it just would have been a boring old story. There wouldn't have been any symbolism or anything like that. He purposely wrote using these words and similes and metaphors and analogies. Do you guys have any questions?
No,
No? Are you ready to write this?
I'm writing as we go.
Your last IEW paper for the year?
Depressing.
You stop with that. You crack me up.
Why? It's true. It's incredibly depressing.
I have to do them next year.
Especially since I won't have a class with you next year.
Well, then fix that. So,
Blame my mother.
Hey, Elena, you can just write my IW papers next year.
I will be honest, I would actually love that.
No.
As Aaron,
No,
however.
no, that's so bad. No.
Well, how would you know if I just studied
Because I know
her
your styles
writing?
of writing.
But here's the thing, if I studied her writing, it wouldn't be that
I'll give you all of
hard.
my papers from this year.
It really wouldn't be that hard.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to.
Okay, your mom would
Shame.
be so mad at you
No, I'm
if you
kidding.
found that out.
She would kill me.
She probably would. And then your sister would like put the, no, kill you again. Bring you back to life just to kill you again. I don't know. Okay, well, if you guys don't have any questions, that's all I got for today because you guys are so super duper quiet.
Oh, wait, so I have a question.
Yes.
And I'm going to bring this up again.
Yes.
Would I have won the Jeopardy if Luke had not gone on in the first place?
If Luke had what?
Not gotten it correct the first
Like-
place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he didn't understand
Okay.
the question.
Well.
I didn't say, hey, that's wrong. I just typed the question to him.
Okay.
So,
As
but
you can tell, never
it's
play a
tie.
game with me.
It's a tie. So you should both sometime in the next week or so expect something in the mail. Okay?
Huh?
Do you guys have any allergies?
I'm allergic to nuts.
Okay.
I'm lactose intolerant.
You're lactose intolerant. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Why does this make me afraid?
You shouldn't be afraid. It's all good, okay? I'm going to send you a gallon of milk.
Okay.
You guys are so weird. I'm going to
Well,
miss you
I
guys.
can make
Okay.
better.
So next week, we're going to play a game. Are you ready?
What game?
I don't know. It's a surprise.
Is there a winner?
There will be.
Thank you.
She's like, I'm going to win this one.
I'm gunning for you, Luke.
Okay. There will be a game. So get ready. Woo! So if you don't have any other questions, that's it. You guys can go.
No,
Hey,
I
you
don't
start
have
your
class
class
after this.
early.
I'm gonna be bored.
You don't have, why don't you have class after this?
Because our final this week was our class apparently.
Oh, because you would have done your final in class?
Yeah.
Okay.
My class would have been the volleyball class,
Ooh,
So.
fun.
but that was canceled. But hey, at least we got the checks back.
For real, right? That's a bonus. I would be like, Mom, do I get that money since it's supposed to be for my class?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Well, you don't have to hang out here. I will stay on for another 5 minutes just because Kaya is like, I don't want to go to another class. I
You
don't
can
have
always just
stuff to
crash
go
your
to."
next one.
No, because if I leave right now, my mom's gonna make me take my final, and I don't want to take it right now. My problem.
You're gonna have to take it in 4 minutes now anyway.
No,
I get you.
it's fine. No.
You'll be amazing at it anyway. Is it history?
Yeah, but it's 10 pages long. I only have an hour to do it, and I don't.
Well, hey, FaceTime me.
Okay, but no, because we're not allowed to have our phones anywhere near us. So
Oh, wow, your teacher doesn't trust you, huh?
yeah, she has instructions of how we have.
Yes. Well, Nathaniel has Miss Christine for psychology, so I had to like sign this like thing in blood almost. That Nathaniel was nowhere near like his books or computer or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, who's your teacher?
Miss Christine.
Oh, wait, did you both mean Christine and Andre?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've had finals with her, but she was never like that.
I think it's because they're taking them at home. Most of the time she has her finals in class.
Oh, yeah. Or when we took them on
And she
in
doesn't have
grade,
to
one
worry
of
about
them.
that in class because she has a bucket where to put your phones in class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really? That's really changed because I had her 2 years ago. She never did that with me.
Maybe something happened.
Maybe. Just because we're homeschooled doesn't mean that we can't cheat.
That would be so bad. No cheating. That's why you're not allowed to write KS papers next year. Right?
Maybe. I'm just kidding. No.
And I know your guys' writing style, and it's so different.
But if I studied hers.
It would take a lot of studying. I challenge you to try one paper, like over the summer, to see if you can write like her.
Really?
Yes.
I'll give you a paper of mine so you can send it.
I have to have a few.
I challenge you. We're going to make it a competition.
What, if she can write like me, or if we can just
No,
like,
I'm not
should I
writing
just
like
pick
you. I'm scared
names?
of you. I feel like yours is gonna be hard to do.
You started to say I was scared of you.
No, like it's like I feel because I've read one of your papers before. And I'm like,
Really? When?
yeah. We were in class and you asked if you did it right, and you gave me your paper.
I don't remember that.
You did.
Oh. Well,
I
hey,
read
Miss
your
Aaron,
papers
there's 6 of
last year.
us.
There's 6
could
of
just
us
pick-
until Luke decided to go away.
Like, so-
Oh, rude.
Okay, and there went Olivia.
Right.
You're dropping like flies.
Bye.
See you, Ada.
Bye.
Hi,
See,
Lily.
okay, you have 1 minute left. Because I got to get her a snack before my next class. Can you say hi to everybody on the screen?
Hi.
No? You want to say hi? Why don't you want to say hi? You say hi?
Hi.
Nope. She's like, nope, hands are in her mouth. She's being all shy.
What was funny is that one time your husband had her outside and do you know who Josie Larson is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were sitting outside and go, hi, Lily. She hugs her dad's leg.
Mm-hmm.
And Josie goes, hi, Lily. She waves. I felt so hurt.
she let me hold her at the Christmas program. I was so happy.
Yes, that was so nice. Like, right? Yeah. Okay.
How
Well,
old is she?
time for you to go take a final, Kaya. Bye, you guys. I'll see you next
Bye.
week.
Bye.